I always feel when I meet people that I am lower than all, and that they all take me for a buffoon, so I say let me play the buffoon, for you are, every one of you, stupider and lower than I. It is clear to me now that, owing to my unbounded vanity and to the high standard I set for myself, I often looked at myself with furious discontent. A dream. What is a dream? And is not our life a dream? The chief thing is to love others like yourself, that's the great thing, and that's everything, nothing else is wanted. Oh, how hard it is to be the only one who knows the truth. I saw clearly that so long as I was still a human being and not nothingness, I was alive and so could suffer, be angry and feel shame at my actions. Is there suffering upon this new earth? On our earth we can only love with suffering and through suffering. We cannot love otherwise, and we know of no other sort of love. I am told that I am vague and confused, and if I am vague and confused now, what shall I be later on? I lifted up my hands and called upon eternal truth, not with words but with tears. And of course I shall make many blunders before I find out how to preach, that is, find out what words to say, what things to do, for it is a very difficult task. I see all that as clear as daylight, but, listen, who does not make mistakes? Dreams seem to be spurred on not by reason but by desire, not by the head but by the heart, and yet what complicated tricks my reason has played sometimes in dreams, what utterly incomprehensible things happen to it. I have seen the truth, I have seen and I know that people can be beautiful and happy without losing the power of living on earth. I will not and cannot believe that evil is the normal condition of mankind. Dreams, as we all know, are very queer things. Some parts are presented with appalling vividness, with details worked up with the elaborate finish of jewelry, while others one gallops through, as it were, without noticing them at all, as, for instance, through space and time. For instance, a strange reflection suddenly occurred to me, that if I had lived before on the moon or on Mars and there had committed the most disgraceful and dishonorable action and had there been put to such shame and ignominy as one can only conceive and realize in dreams, in nightmares, and if, finding myself afterwards on Earth, I were able to retain the memory of what I had done on the other planet and at the same time knew that I should never, under any circumstances, return there. Then looking from the earth to the moon, should I care or not? If once one has recognized the truth and seen it, you know that it is the truth and that there is no other and there cannot be, whether you are asleep or awake. I suddenly felt that it was all the same to me whether the world existed or whether there had never been anything at all. I began to feel with all my being that there was nothing existing. If at least I had solved my problems. Oh, I had not settled one of them, and how many they were. But I gave up caring about anything, and all the problems disappeared. You see, though nothing mattered to me, I could feel pain, for instance. If anyone had struck me it would have hurt me. It was the same morally. If anything very pathetic happened, I should have felt pity just as I used to do in old days when there were things in life that did matter to me. I love all those who laugh at me more than any of the rest. And yet, you know, all are making for the same goal, all are striving in the same direction anyway, from the sage to the lowest robber, only by different roads. They became acquainted with sorrow and loved sorrow, they thirsted for suffering, and said that truth could only be attained through suffering. Then science appeared. As they became wicked they began talking of brotherhood and humanitarianism, and understood those ideas. As they became criminal, they invented justice and drew up whole legal codes in order to observe it, and to ensure their being kept, set up a guillotine. They hardly remembered what they had lost, in fact refused to believe that they had ever been happy and innocent. We're always thinking of eternity as an idea that cannot be understood, something immense. But why must it be? What if, instead of all this, you suddenly find just a little room there, something like a village bathhouse, grimy, and spiders in every corner, and that's all eternity is? Sometimes, I can't help feeling that that's what it is. I did not bow down to you, I bowed down to all the suffering of humanity. And the more I drink, the more I feel it. That's why I drink too. I try to find sympathy and feeling in drink. I drink so that I may suffer twice as much. The man who has a conscience suffers whilst acknowledging his sin. That is his punishment as well as prison. Truly great men must, I think, experience great sorrow on the earth. You see, I kept asking myself then, why am I so stupid that if others are stupid, and I know they are, yet I won't be wiser? Break what must be broken, once for all, that's all, and take the suffering on oneself. Don't be overwise, fling yourself straight into life, without deliberation, don't be afraid, the flood will bear you to the bank and set you safe on your feet again. People with new ideas, people with the faintest capacity for saying something new, are extremely few in number, extraordinarily so, in fact. Only to live and live. Life, whatever it may be. There is nothing in the world more difficult than candor, and nothing easier than flattery. The more I love humanity in general, the less I love man in particular. I become hostile to people the moment they come close to me. Love in action is a harsh and dreadful thing compared with love in dreams. Love in dreams is greedy for immediate action, rapidly performed and in the sight of all. Men will even give their lives if only the ordeal does not last long but is soon over, with all looking on and applauding as though on the stage. But active love is labor and fortitude, and for some people too, perhaps, a complete science. Faith does not, in the realist, spring from the miracle but the miracle from faith. I have always been ridiculous, and I have known it, perhaps, from the hour I was born. I am a sick man. I am a spiteful man. I am an unattractive man. It takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.